Good morning, happy Tuesday. It's currently about 8:30. I got up a little bit earlier this morning than sometimes I manage to, which is quite nice, which means I can kind of get cracking with some of my work. I kind of rounded off yesterday doing a bit of video editing, managed to get a video up, which was great, as well as just finishing off a little bit of reading. So this morning what I'm going to do is I've got to write up a supervision that I had the other day, and I've also I've got some emails to catch up on, so some kind of admin-y bits to start off the day. So I've written up my supervision, which I always forget how useful a process it is. I always tend to view it as this kind of hassle until I actually get to do it. But actually it's quite a useful way to think through exactly what I've said to Kathy, my supervisor, that I'm going to do, because it's quite easy to say you're going to do something and then like completely forget it. So it's always a nice process to really think over what that conversation was about, and what her reflections on some of my writing was, and what I also find often she'll say things that will make me have realisations about what I've written. I've just had some great news about the play that I'm currently working on that I potentially can't say anything about just yet, but I also got to take a quick break from PhD stuff just to update some thoughts on that and chat to some people about that, but it's super exciting news. So I've managed to do the thing I do quite often when I get up early and start working really early, is that it's now like maybe 10:30, not even quite that yet, and I'm already really tired. So I'm going to find some Coca-Cola to try and keep me going through the rest of the morning. I'm currently doing a little bit of reading a book by Tim Cresswell, who's a political geographer, which I'm really enjoying. It's really interesting. I'm currently reading about graffiti in New York and ideas of things being in place and out of place, and ideas of transgression. Which I'm really enjoying, but I need a bit of a perk up so that I can actually pay attention to it. So I have had a quick break to have a sandwich and to have a little bit of a PlayStation break, because this morning I did quite a lot of reading actually. I got through all of the book that I needed to get through. I didn't read the whole book. I left out some of the case studies because they weren't so relevant to my research. But I am now on to the afternoon where I'm reading from an actual physical book, which is actually quite nice sometimes because I don't particularly like reading off a screen. I'm finding I'm getting a bit fractious being in house at the moment. I think I've said before that I know that I work better from home than I do from going into the university department, just because I sit here and I actually get work done. But you know, sometimes it feels a little bit like I've spent an awful lot of time in the house. Later on I've got books to pick up from town, so I will get to go to town, but at the moment I'm waiting for the shopping to come because we've got a shopping delivery coming. Now this is a weird book for a number of reasons, up to including its really kind of weird cover, as you might be able to see there. But also it's really hard to work out how to cite it. So I'm gradually trying to work out, I think I've worked out who the editors are. It's got a really odd like page, but I'm just trying to find the date of when it was published now. This is actually really slightly annoying. It's a very like cool book, the way it's put together. But yeah. This book is nuts. It seems to make loads of sense for a little while, and then it will suddenly just like walk off into something which sounds like it might make absolutely no sense whatsoever. So it's been a bit more of a tough read than the book I was reading this morning. See, I'm really not a fan of this style of writing. The book I was reading this morning gives examples like every few pages. It's kind of very much groundbreaking book in its own way, but he's always looking to find examples of how the author can explain what he's talking about. This book seems to like make everything as esoteric as possible and as hard to understand. Which is really annoying. This thing that George Orwell said about using the simplest words that you can and always trying to like explain things in the simplest way you can. It's the most democratic way of writing because then the most people can understand it. This book could really take some guidance from that, I think. The shopping arrived, which means I can now finally leave the house, which I've wanted to do for quite a long time now. I'm absolutely sick to death of reading. Here is our shopping in all its wonderful glory, which came delivered. So I've got to put it all in the fridge, and then I will head off into town, which should be fun. Bye Tony, see you later. Bye-bye. Book, TV aerial and egg bites. That is the trip to town pretty much. Mission accomplished. Which can't really bother to go home just yet. So I'm going to sit here and read my book for a little while.
Ever since then, I just enjoyed it. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy being out.
It works. Cycling, job.
Swimming,
TV,
and running. They are
cut.
3 disciplines of training.
Yay, TV! Legal TV!
I know. Live TV. Oh no! Oh! Oil everywhere, oil everywhere, oil everywhere. What you witnessed at the end though was me managing to spill oil all over the floor, which took a little while to clear up, but then we had some dinner and watched a little bit of House of Cards. Katie's now gone to sleep because she is a proper doctor. And she's got to be up really early in the morning. I, on the other hand, am staying up and reading a little bit of the book which I bought this afternoon. I've been really looking forward to reading this book for a little while now. It looks at the kind of rise of the alt-right online. And at the moment I'm kind of looking at trying to write a play about that, or set within that world, or something. I've got some ideas about where it might go, but I was really keen to do a little bit of background research. So I ordered this one into Waterstones. So I'm going to see out my evening now by getting a little bit further into this one. And I might give some thoughts on it on my channel at some point. But yes, that is my Tuesday done. Hello, if you have made it this far, then thank you so much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, then please do give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to watch the rest of these videos as they come out over the coming few days, then please do consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching again, and have a great week.